welcome back to my channel, another video, school-related content. My name is Katie, I am currently a community college student, and I will be transferring in the fall, and that's what this video is all about. I have submitted my transfer applications. Technically I submitted them 2 months ago, and I'm only just now making this video. But yes, all of my essays have been written, all of my extracurriculars have been filled in, and I have hit that submit button. I paid the fee and now I am just waiting to hear back from the schools to which I applied. Technically, I have already heard back from one of them, and that is the school that I did the transfer admission guarantee to. And if you don't know what the transfer admission guarantee is, as a California community college student, you have guaranteed admission to 1 of 6 out of 9 of the UCs here, given that you've fulfilled and met all of the criteria for that transferred guarantee. Anyways, yes, so I've already heard back from my transfer admission guarantee school, and that is UC Davis. So technically I've already gotten back 1 acceptance, and that's pretty cool if I say so myself. Regardless of whether or not I get in other places, I have a backup. I know I'm going somewhere. To be completely honest, I did only apply to UC schools because it was 1 application and they waived most of the fees, and I am A, lazy, and B, cheap. So that's the reason why I only applied to those campuses. And those campuses are UC San Diego, UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, UC Berkeley, and UC Davis. But now, moving on from that stuff into what the title of the video is, my transfer fears. So obviously when you transfer from one thing to another, it's a transition. You're moving from one area of life into another, and change is scary. Change is a big deal. So I have a little list of things that I was going to talk about that I'm afraid of regarding transferring, and yeah, I don't really know if this is interesting content, but I'm sure somebody out there can relate. So I think the biggest fear of them all is something that a lot of community college students can sympathize with, and that is not feeling smart enough, or aka imposter syndrome. So as a community college student right now, I am getting really good grades. You know, I get straight A's, I'm on the honor society, I have a really high GPA and that kind of stuff. But coming from that and possibly getting into a top school in my state, UCLA or UC Berkeley or something like that, I go from being in the top range at my school to being at a school full of people in the top range. So there is a little bit of that imposter syndrome, feeling what if everybody finds out that I'm not actually smart enough to go here? I'm sure I'll do fine once I get there, but there is that fear of what if I get there and I realize I haven't learned anything, or everything that I've learned I've forgotten. Because to be quite frank, it's taken me a long time to get through community college, and so my major is anthropology, and the last anthropology class I took was a year ago. So once I get into those upper division classes, that's all I'm really going to be studying, and it's a little bit daunting to me. So I'm going to have to come up with some plan over the summer to prepare for my transfer, going back and reading my old textbooks and things like that. But I think that's the biggest one that I think community college students can empathize with. It's a big one to tackle. The next one on the list, the possibility of moving to a new city. So I currently live in the city where I was born and raised. I have lived here for 23 out of 24 of my years on this earth, so the possibility of having to get up and move to a new city is terrifying, especially moving there alone. I have always lived with my mother, and I have lived with my significant other for the past 3 years, so going off into the unknown, and quite big cities too. The schools I have applied to are in big cities. I mean, UCLA, technically UCLA is in Westwood and not in downtown Los Angeles, but it's still SoCal is huge. I do have family there, but it's still it's a huge area. There's a lot of people. It's a completely different vibe from this town, because you have to deal with a lot of uncomfortable stuff when you're in a big city. First of all, it's expensive. Second of all, it's crowded. It can be dirty and unsafe and overwhelming to go from pretty much a small town to something like Berkeley, San Diego, or Los Angeles. Third on the list is money. I'm sure every college student worries about money and how they're going to pay for school. Crossing my fingers that I get some sort of financial aid from the UC system. But yeah, tuition is expensive, and not only do you have to pay for tuition, but you have to pay for books and the cost of living. and I don't know whether or not I'm gonna quit my job when I get to my new school because of the workload. The next one is kind of silly, making friends. I have friends where I live and go to school. I don't have friends at my next school because I haven't been there yet. As an older, non-traditional student, I do worry a little bit about finding and making friends, especially because most of the people I'm gonna be with are gonna be teenagers still. I mean, for the most part, undergrads are anywhere from 17 to like 22. A large majority of the people I'm gonna be around, like, they're just at a different moment in their life than I am. We're all going to school, you know, we're all getting an education, we're all students, but you know, I've been paying my own bills for a really long time and I have major responsibilities at home. I've been in a long-term committed relationship. It's just a different point in life for me than it is for a lot of the people I'll be going to school with. Not to mention the whole I wear vintage thing kind of makes me stick out like a sore thumb sometimes, so I worry a little bit about, you know, being a little too, like, I just imagine myself walking onto like Berkeley's or LA's campus. Well, I guess LA, nobody would really care because it's LA, but like Berkeley's campus, you know, students for the most part these days, they wear like a t-shirt and sweats to school. I dress like this when I go to school. It's like, it's self-inflicted, honestly. I could just wear a t-shirt and sweatpants, but I like looking like this. Why am I so hung up on the vintage part? And by the way, if you like the vintage thing, I am planning more vintage slash school related content. A wink wink. I don't know how many different things that was, but I'm gonna end it here. But those are some like real serious feelings and fears that I have about transferring, and I'm sure a lot of them are similar to what high school students feel like are going in as freshmen. You know, like making friends and having to worry about money and moving to a new city and adjusting to a new life. Like, it's all things I'm sure that freshmen feel as well, but as the older non-traditional student that I am, I feel a little bit elevated in that because at least all the freshmen are going through it together and I'll be coming in as a junior, so it's a little bit more like the people who I'm going to be interacting with have been there longer than I have. You know, they've been there since freshman and I'm going to come in as a junior and they're already going to be comfortable in their setting and their environment and their friends, and then I just come in as dropped in the middle of junior year and I'm like, hey guys, what's up? I'm new. My name's Katie. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sure that everything's gonna work out. I'm honestly really excited for this transition because I'm a little bit done being at community college and taking introductory courses. So I have one more semester of community college left and then I am transferring to university. I am so freaking excited to like study the things I actually want to study, finish my education so I can move on to a career in archaeology. I have hope that's gonna work out. I am very excited no matter where I go, although I am kind of hoping for one place in particular. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this face, I'm not sure why, but go follow me on social media. My Twitter is at Mr. Comb. My Instagram is ThatOneVintageGirl. I will leave links down in the description box below so you can keep up with me on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Alright, I'm gonna go play D&D now.